All right, guys, the business of deportation, that's right. Deporting people is actually a business. There's a company called Geo Global. It's a publicly traded company, and they are in charge of prisons and detention centers. After November 5th, their stock prices went like this. Now, it doesn't scare the American people one bit that a publicly traded company that's about arresting people and detaining people is getting their stocks go up. Law is a lot of times, motive and intention is very powerful in law. For example, you guys can imagine that if you have a lawsuit, they're going to question your motive, your intentions, for example. Or if you're if you're a defendant in a criminal case, motive and intention is a very heavy bearing factor in law. So what makes this interesting is that motive and intention, right, is an aspect of law that's worth looking into. I mean, if you're a defendant and you were minding your business and somebody came to break in your house and you took care of that problem, well, your motive, you were just at home minding your business. But now if you were fishing for somebody to break into your house so you could do it, now your motive, your intentions are questionable. So motive and intention. When you're arresting people on purpose because it's a publicly traded stock and there's a lot of money to be made from you getting arrested, at that point, the motive... What's up, player? We are live on YouTube. How you doing today? Live on YouTube. Tell me about your problem, man. Hello? This phone call is being recorded for YouTube purposes. How are you doing today? All right, I tried. So your motive, your intentions are a huge aspect of law. If somebody breaks into your home and you do what you got to do, well, you were just at home minding your business. But now, if you look for somebody or if you seek it out, then there's a big question mark on your motive and intention. So when I say deportations is a business, it's a publicly traded stock, and that in itself raises some questions of what is the real motive and intention. It seems like the motive and intention really is that this is a publicly traded company. So you have this company now that is publicly traded. People invest money into the stock. Their stocks go up now. It just became more profitable to incarcerate people and to detain people. If you don't know about this company I'm talking about, all of the government detention centers are private. Now, the fact that these companies are private has always been kind of a matter of concern for some people who think that something of this nature, taking away somebody's freedom and locking them up, shouldn't exactly be in private hands, but it is in the United States somehow. It should be in government's hands, and of course their logic is it's better managed if it's a business. Okay. Now locking people up is a business, okay. But regardless, doesn't it worry you just a little bit that arresting, detaining people has just became profitable? Doesn't that bother you just a little bit in the back of your mind that, now the motive for arresting and detaining somebody is there? The United States already has more people incarcerated than almost any other country in the world. There's only a handful of countries that have more people incarcerated than the United States, and it just goes to show that, arresting people for profit kind of is a motive right there. what are the results of places that have the highest incarceration rates? Well, Louisiana is one of those states with the highest incarceration rates. If you were to look at the states with the highest incarceration rates, they also correlate with the crappiest places to live in America by crime rate, homicide rate, even life expectancy, out of all things. In other words, when you look at the states like Louisiana, Mississippi, that have the highest incarceration rates, there's a correlation between the worst places to live in America and the states with the highest incarceration rates. If you look at the states that have the lowest incarceration rates, they're some of the best states to live in. There's a lot of great countries out there that have really low incarceration rates. The United States is actually one of the few decent countries to live in that have high incarceration rates. Mostly like places like North Korea have high incarceration rates, you know. It's kind of pushing the tyrannical side of things there. But that's where you get the high incarceration rates. You don't really get high incarceration rates in good places. It's not really a good place type of thing. But regardless, the United States is among those countries that arrest the most people. And it seems like that trend's not going to change. Now, a lot of people believe also that these companies are also lobbying on one end to incarcerate more people. And then that raises another question: is what's the moral, ethic? Can't do that. What's the moral and ethic? The sun is blinding me. What's the moral and ethic thing to do there? With when you're making a profit for incarcerating people, and now you're also lobbying for things that lead to more incarcerations or detentions. Big question mark. Is the reason why? Oh my, we're gonna die! Is the reason why people are pushing immigration so heavily is not so much that they care about immigration, but that there's this little company out there who they've invested money into who profits from this. Is the real reason why immigration is just a hot topic today? Perhaps not that immigration's a big deal, but that there's this little company out there where people are making a killing investing into this company that does nothing more than detain people. It's questionable. It isn't something that inspires confidence in any way or another. And again, I ask the same question to you watching this video. Doesn't it make you feel a little uncomfortable that arresting people has just become more profitable? That detaining people has just become more profitable? That there are people who are investing money and lobbying indirectly for immigration because there's money to be made in it. Now, it's interesting how most people who are against immigration policy don't even mention this. This isn't something people mention, but there's an old saying in this country is follow the money. And really, there's a lot of money to be made on this little topic of immigration. Wow, this is blinding. There is a lot of money to be made with immigration. It's a publicly traded company. Their stocks are going up. And the more people that they can detain, the more profit they get. I think it's like $63 a person per day they get. So, if they promise 1 million people getting deported, well, then that's, $63 million right there a day per person. Multiply that times a 30-day stay, and you do the math of how much money we're talking about. There's a real reason that immigration's become a concern lately. Simply that it's profitable. That's an interesting question. I mean, why wouldn't the people who are making money on this stock push for immigration? It's interesting. And again, most people who are, against immigration policy never mention this topic. This isn't something people talk about or mention. It's kind of like an obsolete in the corner thing, but it might actually be a lot of the motive of why people are pushing immigration. It's a business like any other. And, being at the forefront of what people are concerned about in the United States right now, you could imagine. But again, it doesn't just, it's not just detention centers, it's also prisons in general. In the United States, incarcerating people is a business, a publicly traded business. But when you think about the effects that incarceration does to this country, I mean, once somebody's incarcerated, it ruins their life. It's been proven by the states that have the highest incarceration rates that there's no correlation between incarcerating a bunch of people and then your community becoming a better place. There's a lot of collateral damage to incarcerating somebody, especially since the people who are most incarcerated are usually people who are males, heads of households that have kids and families to feed. It really, if you look at trends with incarceration rates, if you look at trends with people being homeless, it's like a generational thing where, like, if your parents were, man, that's a cool setup on that truck. If your parents were incarcerated, chances are you're going to be incarcerated. If your parents were homeless, chances are you're going to be homeless. This cycle just repeats itself over and over again. It doesn't really lead to great things. But anyways, the reality that a lot of people don't know is that, yes, immigration is a big business. Deporting people is a business, a publicly traded business, which you can invest in. And a lot of people, the vast majority of people are going to leave voluntarily. And I think that actually isn't what they want. If you want to self-deport yourself, is what they call it, self-deportation. Like, now a lot of people are leaving voluntarily. I know in 2016, 2017, I'm going to guess at least 10 to 17 million people self-deported. And there's no money to be made on those people. It's actually a huge loss to the United States. But, when you start to look at immigration as a business, it should just kind of change your perspective on, angles of why it's so relevant. But it's a business. Should it be a business? Probably not. When I first heard, I had somebody who pulled me over and said, Jose, that this whole immigration thing is a business, and most of the people who are investing in this company are actually people who, there's actually people who invest into this company that are really big on immigration. I was like, yo, that sounds crazy. I couldn't believe it. Like, I almost thought they were crazy. Like, sometimes people tell you something, that sounds so crazy it can't even be real. But then I started looking into it, and I was like, yo, this is actually true. Like, literally, it was hard to believe. Like I said, somebody pulled me over and they told me and they explained to me how, okay, you got these people here who are involved in politics, who have all this money invested in this company that's publicly traded. It's a stock you can buy. And they're over here pushing immigration because they got all their money invested into these companies that are literally detention centers. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, it doesn't sound ethical. It doesn't sound moral. But it's a business like everything else in America. I mean, that's the way this capitalistic system works. Everything's a business, including incarcerating and detaining people. Now, it's interesting when you start to look at the people who have money invested in this company, right? And what they're doing out there to promote immigration policy, where you really start to question what their motives are. And it's sad to say that while people have been out there kind of blowing a red flag saying, hey man, these people are over here, advocating for immigration, but they got all their money invested in this company that makes money off of it. It's some shady stuff. But again, that's how most stuff in the United States right now. Look, man, I went to Walgreens today. You see all my groceries in the back seat, and there's this sign that said if you spend more than $20 on these products, we'll give you $10 back. So I figured the product was $9.99. So I figured I'll grab 2 of these products, and with 2 of these products, I'll be able to get $10 in rewards. Guess what? You actually need 3, because $9.99 plus $9.99 it's 2 cents short. So I bought 2 of these products. I only needed 1, but I bought 2 thinking I was going to get reward points. When I got to the register, I was like, oh crap, you actually need 3 of them. It's a scam. You know, most big corporations right now are just rotting over the American people. I mean, I'm paying my bills. I just got paid. I'm paying my bills, and I'm looking at some of the things I'm paying for, and it's almost like for example, this truck. See these red leather seats? These red leather seats. They come with a 1-year warranty. Now they're already starting to fade, so I got a 1-year warranty. I'm already called the dealership, made my appointment, just trying to get everything set up so that I can get my reimbursed. You know, they're going to replace the seats because they're under warranty. But they're dragging it out, and they've been dragging it out for months, and I got a feeling that by the time that they go to install the seats, it's going to be past that 1-year replacement period, warranty period, and then they're going to say, well, we're outside the period. I'm like, well, I reported this 3 months ago. But they're trying to drag it out to get to that point so they can say it's not their responsibility. So it's like, when I start to look at, like, every month I'm paying my bills, all the things that I have to do. AT&T on these phones, we just got burned on by AT&T. AT&T, you know, they ran a scam on us where it was like, it was kind of like they told us we'll get $1,700 credits if we get the new iPhone if we turn our old phones in. Well, it turns out that they didn't accept our phones because they said their system was down. We had to come back the next day. We came back the next day. They had already taken our phones as a trade-in, but then they only wanted to give us $300 for it. But you know, they did it like that. It was a scam. It was a bait and switch. You know, all these big corporations, so AT&T, Walgreens, and every last one of these things you have to pay, car dealerships, man, they are running all types of scams. And then the average person like me and you, we can't do anything about it. Excuse me. We can't do anything about it because if somebody says now that you owe them $500 and you're working to buy a house, you know, interest rates are high, everybody's trying to get their credit score up and have financial mobility. Now, when you go to buy something, if somebody says you owe them $500 and you don't pay them, they'll mess up your credit. What option do you have but to pay them? Systematically, these large corporations, every last one of them, Walgreens, AT&T, the car dealership, I mean, half of I could tell you about a scam my renters, where I'm renting at right now, they're running a scam where, like, they say that you don't have your homeowner's insurance or your renter's insurance, and you do have it, but they said there was a $12 fee you had to pay during the hurricanes when all their offices were closed, so you had to pay it. And it was like a if you don't have type of thing. If you don't have it, you have to pay it. But you know, it was during the hurricane, so you had to pay you had to pay them $12 for renter's insurance, even though you had it, so you really didn't have to pay it. I just got scammed. Look at this. The bills you pay every month. My car payment, scammed. My rent, scammed. AT&T, my phone bill, scammed. When I look at all the things that I pay every single month, there's a scam or a finesse on almost every single thing that I pay. I'm getting scammed by my renter. I'm getting scammed by my car company. I'm getting scammed by my bank. You know, I just looked at my Bank of America. I have a credit card that I pay. And I have to transfer money from one bank to the other. These banks, they don't talk to each other, right? So now when you make a credit card payment from one bank to the next, they charge you $10 for the transaction. I'm getting every single transaction that I make right now, every month, there's some hidden catch, there's some type of scam, there's some type of everything. I mean, from the renter's insurance to which is really the rental company I'm renting from. They're like, well, you don't have renter's insurance right now. I do have it. Well, you need to upload it or pay this fine. I'm like, well, your offices are closed, so I got to pay the fine, even though I have it. Every single payment that you pay every single month, I feel like there's a finesse or a scam involved. And because you're trying to protect your credit, because you're trying to build your life, you got to get scammed by all these people. Bro, it is frustrating when I go to pay my bills and I'm seeing every single transaction that I make has a catch, has an extra fee, has something that you were supposed to pay. And then when you need something from them, a refund or there's a warranty, then they drag it out, finesse you out of that money, like what's happening right now with these seats, where I know for a fact they're going to try to extend it. I've ordered it. I've texted them. They're going to do everything they can to delay it past that warranty period. So then they say, oh, it's past the warranty period. Now you can't, well, you don't have to do it. And I've been on these people for months now about this. It's really, really frustrating. It's beyond frustrating how every single thing that you have to do right now, you're getting scammed, you're getting defrauded, and it eats away at you, man. I'm at the point where I don't want anything in this country. I don't want houses, I don't want cars. The only thing I want is to find another country where I can move to, Costa Rica, somewhere else, where I'm not getting bled left and right on every single thing and screwed on every single transaction that you do. Everything in this country is about money, stealing, defrauding, and that includes immigration. Immigration is nothing more than money. Did I miss my turn?
Well, you're almost to 70.
I was supposed to turn on 44th. Okay. It's okay. It's a beautiful drive. We'll be fine. But I did miss my turn.
Yeah.
Everything is about money in this country, including immigration. And everything is a lie, a scam, a finesse, man. It's like all these big corporations, you know, they politic, they lobby, they lie, they steal, they take every last bit from every last one of us. And we're so stupid that we actually promote their ideologies, which are nothing more than a money-making grab for them. We're forced to believe that their agendas are our problems. You know, I'm sick of everything. I'm at the point where I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of the way this system works. It just grinds away at you. Everything's a scam. Everything's a fraud. Including immigration. I mean, I feel like if there's money to be made in this topic of immigration, I feel like that should be at the forefront of the things we should know about this. This shouldn't be a background detail. This really shouldn't be a background detail. This should be at the forefront of this thing. It should be like, okay, you know, we're for immigration, but, you know, little note at the bottom, we're also for making profit off of this. I got money invested I'm making money off of this. You know, I'm against immigration, but, you know, fine print, I got money invested over here, and this money that got invested over here is backed by, you know what I mean? Like there should be that connection made between, okay, I'm pushing this agenda, but this is actually attached to it. Immigration policy right now in this country is a business. It's not about what's right or wrong. It's about making money. And everything in this country is about making money, to the point where it's frustrating just to be a normal civilian trying to pay your bills every month, and you feel like you're getting robbed left and right. You know, like in this country, even if you have it, it's not yours. Like I've had houses paid off, cars paid off, and I've realized that just because you have it in your bank account, it's only there temporarily. Just because you have a title for it, you only have it temporarily. You know, property taxes, insuring things, it's only yours temporarily. I mean, look at these people that got these mobile homes here. Now the county's coming in here in Bradenton, and they're condemning all these people's properties, and they're saying you're not allowed to rebuild your house. The government can tell you now that you can't rebuild your house if it gets destroyed by a natural disaster. You buy your house, it's your house where you live in, And then FEMA comes along and says, oh, no, you can't rebuild your house. You got to knock it down. And then a developer comes in, snatches up the land, they build something what they want. Everything. It doesn't even give you, the way things are in the United States right now, it doesn't even give you a desire to buy land. I don't want to own land. I don't want to own a house. I don't want to own anything. What's the point of owning things in this country the way things are right now? It doesn't even make sense to own anything in this country right now, because even if you have it, it's not yours. And it's almost like the less you have, the freer you are. I mean, look at this truck right here. I got to get it washed every month. I got to put gas in it. I got to change the oil. I got to maintain it. I got the seats now, got to go through the warranty process. Got to go to the dealership. That doesn't include if something breaks. You know, owning a vehicle seems like a nice thing, but it swallows up so much of your time. I mean, this is a time trap, owning these vehicles. It's a trap, really. It consumes a lot of your time. Everything consumes your time. And the more you have, the more time it takes from you. To where, like, if you have a vehicle, for example, man, you ever think about how much time it takes to own a vehicle? How much time you spend every year at the insurance, insuring it, this, that. Bro, it's a serious time constraint. To where I've really started thinking, do I really want to live in a country right now where everything is about money, to the point where even if you have something, it's not yours? It even takes away the desire to have things, man. It really does.